Fikile Mbalula has pledged that the ANC will only field ethical, capable cadres in the 2026 municipal elections, a promise that comes as the party battles declining voter trust, corruption scandals, and collapsing municipalities. His vow is both an admission of past failures and a claim of renewal, but whether the ANC can deliver remains an open question that South Africans will judge at the ballot box. Fikile Mbalula, Secretary-General of the African National Congress, has declared that the ANC will prioritize ethical and capable cadres in its candidate selection for the 2026 municipal elections, a statement that has already sparked reactions across the political landscape. Mbalula's comments, delivered with his trademark bluntness, come at a critical time as the party confronts declining voter confidence, governance failures in municipalities, and the growing dominance of coalition politics. His pledge represents both an admission of the ANC's failings and a promise of renewal, but it also raises the question of whether the party has the depth and discipline to deliver. Municipal elections have become a bruising battlefield for the ANC. In 2021, the party dipped below 50% nationally for the first time since 1994, a setback that underscored frustration with corruption, poor service delivery, and the sense that the party had lost touch with citizens. Metros like Johannesburg, Tshwane, and Ekurhuleni slipped from ANC control, forcing unstable coalitions. Smaller municipalities, especially in rural areas, have also suffered from financial mismanagement, failing infrastructure, and cadre deployment gone wrong. Against this backdrop, Mbalula's promise is both a bold declaration and a recognition that the ANC cannot afford to repeat past mistakes. By emphasizing ethics, Mbalula signals a desire to rebuild trust with voters tired of seeing municipalities synonymous with corruption and incompetence. Scandals in eThekwini, Monganang, and Nelson Mandela Bay have eroded the ANC's reputation as the liberation movement that once promised dignity and better lives. The idea of capable cadres points to a recognition that technical skills and proven records are necessary if municipalities are to deliver basics like water, electricity, sanitation, and housing. For many, these are urgent needs, and the ANC knows credibility depends on whether its candidates can actually govern. Critics, however, question the sincerity of Mbalula's pledge. Opposition parties argue the ANC has made similar promises before, only to fall back on patronage and factionalism in candidate selection. They point out that cadre deployment has been central to governance failures, and that the very language of capable cadres suggests continuity rather than reform. Analysts note that Mbalula's rhetoric may be about managing perceptions and keeping the base motivated rather than implementing a genuine overhaul. For them, the test will be whether communities see fresh, accountable leaders, or the same entrenched figures recycled with new slogans. Mbalula framed the pledge as part of the ANC's renewal agenda, which has dominated party discourse since its decline at the polls. He admitted that failures at municipal level have cost the ANC dearly and insisted the 2026 elections will prove the party is serious about transformation. He stressed that the ANC must adapt to a new era of coalition politics, where credibility and competence are essential not only to win votes but to form sustainable partnerships. His comments reflect the reality that the ANC is no longer the untouchable force it once was. It must now fight to remain relevant in an environment where citizens punish failure at the ballot box. For ordinary South Africans, Mbalula's words raise hopes but also skepticism. Many communities have endured years of dysfunction, raw sewage in streets, weeks without water, potholes left unrepaired, and electricity outages beyond national load shedding. Voters have heard promises of ethical governance before, only to see municipalities slide further into chaos. Whether the ANC can persuade citizens again will depend not on speeches but on proof of renewal. If the party selects respected candidates with track records of service, it could regain ground. But if the process is dominated by internal politics and factional deals, the backlash in 2026 could be harsher than in 2021. The stakes for the ANC are enormous. Municipal elections are not just about local governance, they are a bellwether for national sentiment. A poor showing in 2026 would further weaken the party's hold on municipalities and could set the stage for a steep decline in the 2029 national elections. For Mbalula, the pledge to prioritize ethical candidates is also a gamble. It ties his leadership and the credibility of the ANC's renewal agenda to a concrete test voters will judge in less than 2 years. Failure would damage both the party and Mbalula's own reputation as a key figure in its future. Opposition parties like the DA and Action SA have already sharpened their counter-narratives. They argue that competence and ethics cannot be achieved by the ANC because corruption and cadre deployment are part of its DNA. The DA positions itself as the champion of clean governance, while Action SA and others present themselves as accountability-driven alternatives. If the ANC falters, these parties are ready to exploit the opportunity, especially in urban centers where service delivery has collapsed. Another complication is that coalition politics is now the norm rather than the exception. Even if the ANC fields stronger candidates, the fractured nature of politics means no single party may dominate municipalities as before. This means the ANC's credibility will be tested both at the ballot box and in its ability to negotiate coalitions from strength rather than desperation. Ethical candidates could give the ANC leverage, while discredited ones could weaken its hand and embolden rivals. Mbalula's promise thus represents both a rallying cry and a warning. For supporters, it is reassurance the party is learning from its mistakes and that a new generation may restore pride in ANC governance. For skeptics, it is another repetition of lofty promises that collapse under factionalism. Either way, the announcement ensures the ANC's approach to the 2026 municipal elections will be under intense scrutiny, not only from opposition parties and the media but also from voters who have grown more discerning about who deserves their trust. As the countdown to 2026 begins, the ANC stands at a crossroads. It can either seize the moment to show its renewal agenda is real, or fall back into old habits and risk accelerating its decline. Mbalula's words, bold and emphatic, are now on record. What matters is whether the party can back them with action. For South Africans, the stakes are deeply personal. Service delivery, accountability, and the quality of leadership will determine not only the election outcome but also the everyday lives of millions. The question is no longer whether the ANC recognizes the need for change, but whether it can summon the discipline and courage to make it happen. As the 2026 elections draw closer, the ANC faces its toughest test yet. Mbalula's pledge of ethical leadership could either mark the start of renewal or expose the party's inability to change. For South Africans, the outcome is personal. Service delivery, accountability, and the quality of local leadership will shape daily life long after the votes are cast.